processed foods in order to reduce inflammation, toxic hunger, and food cravings. If you missed that video, click on the link below. Today I'm going to demonstrate 3 simple ways to replace processed staples with real foods in order to increase your energy levels and reduce your toxic body burden on a daily basis. Let's begin with an easy homemade almond milk, which is a nice alternative for people who have milk intolerance, and it's a nice treat for everyone. We'll need 1.5 cups of almond, 5 dates, 4 cups of filtered water, and a dash of cinnamon. This recipe will make 6 cups of almond milk. You'll want to use a high-powered blender like a Vitamix or a Blendtec, and if you don't have a high-powered blender, you'll also want a strainer or a cheesecloth and a large bowl. Soaking the almonds overnight will make them softer and easier to blend. I suggest doing this in your refrigerator to avoid mold. Once you've soaked the almonds well, you want to rinse them to help reduce lectin content, which is something that I'll discuss more in an upcoming training. Once you've soaked them and rinsed them well, you want them to look plump and moist like they do here. Almonds are a good source of protein and essential nutrients like manganese, iron, potassium, magnesium, vitamin E, and essential fats. Now we're going to take the 1.5 cups of almonds and we're going to add them into our high-powered blender. We're going to add the 4 cups of filtered water. And we're going to use dates, which are a nutrient-rich source because they contain fiber, iron, potassium, manganese, copper, calcium, B vitamins, and more. If you don't have dates, you can use a tablespoon of honey or maple syrup. So we included them for sweetness. We're going to add a dash of cinnamon. In this case, I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon. And now that all of our ingredients are combined, we will blend. Once we're done blending, if you've used a high power blender, you'll be done. If you haven't, then you're going to want to pour through a strainer or a cheesecloth into a large bowl. Make sure it's on there tight. So we're back, and if you don't have a high-powered blender, then you have one more step in that you're going to want to take that cheesecloth, put it out over a large bowl, pour it through, and then squeeze it through. A strainer actually won't work because you can't squeeze it so well. I just found that out. So now that I have my almond milk that was pureed from my high-powered blender, I can pour into a glass jug to store. The smooth and creamy almond milk is a great option for using in recipes, smoothies, breakfast cereals, and even steamers. As you can see, it only took a few minutes to prepare, so it's quick, convenient, and an affordable option to do yourself. The second simple way to reduce processed foods in your home is to swap out wheat for something called pseudo grains, which literally means fake grains because technically they're not grains, they're seeds, even though they function, feel, and look a lot like grains. Wheat is a high genetically modified crop rich in lectins and often paired with pro-inflammatory processed foods and ingredients. Swap out your breakfast cereal for a buckwheat breakfast, and even though buckwheat sounds like it contains wheat, don't be deceived. Buckwheat is a gluten-free seed that looks and feels like a grain. So it makes a really nice morning cereal, kind of like a cream of wheat without the wheat. What I do is I take 1 bag of buckwheat and I cook that up with 1 part of the seed to 3 parts of water. Make a big pot that lasts me through the week. Then I add a little bit of coconut milk, maple syrup, cinnamon, and fresh berries for a quick, easy, delicious, and nutritious breakfast. Another great option to swap out wheat in your meals in your home is to use the staple quinoa. Quinoa is also a pseudograin, cooks up a lot like a grain, and it works great to top your salads, to add in soups or stews, and to even use underneath stir-fried vegetables. The third way to decrease your processed patterns is to reduce the total number of ingredients consumed. You can do this by reading labels and simplifying ingredients to increase your real food factor. For instance, this store-bought almond milk contains 14 ingredients compared to our homemade almond milk, which contained 4: almonds, filtered water, dates, and cinnamon. And this heart-healthy cereal contains over 40 ingredients, many of which are highly processed, compared to my morning staple buckwheat, which contains 2: buckwheat and water. Plus, if you add the pure coconut, pure maple, cinnamon, and berries, you have 6 ingredients. Still, quite a difference from the over 40 ingredients. And lastly, this pasta dish contains 15 ingredients, half of which are vegetables, but the other half are highly processed ingredients, compared to quinoa or a buckwheat pasta, both of which contain 1 ingredient and can easily be dressed up with some fresh lemon juice, a splash of oil, fresh herbs, and a dash of salt. So to summarize, 3 simple ways to reduce processed staples are: 1, to make your own nut or seed milk; 2, use pseudograins like buckwheat and quinoa; and 3, read ingredient labels to simplify the total ingredients you consume on a regular basis. Just using the example with the almond milk, the breakfast cereal, and the pasta dish, we were able to decrease the total number of ingredients consumed to over 55 less ingredients. That adds up in a big way over time, and it lends itself to increased energy levels, a more clearer and focused body and mind. Join me in my next video to learn about how to use online resources to kick butt in the kitchen, at work, and in life. Until then, let me know what small changes you intend to make to increase the real food factor in your meals. Let me know in the comments below.